I think it's interesting, you modify your game plan the way the game's going, and I think players have been stuck in conservative mode for a while, and last week really hit home how conservative we'd become. And so I think we needed to lift in two areas. One, be able to put some pressure on, especially in our forward line, and we pushed up. I thought the guys were terrific, caused 3 or 4 goals. And also the way we play when we've got the footy, we've got to move the ball a bit more quickly than we've done, and I think we did that today. And that caused us some turnovers at times the other way, and they probably got 5 or 6 goals when we've made some basic errors. But having said that, we've got to keep on trying to actually do that. We've got to obviously keep making the play.
You win 23 goals, obviously, is the great pluses of the day. How much of the 17 goals against factor into you?
Yeah, but probably the last couple are a little bit disappointing. But I think a few of them, as I said, we're making the play, and we got caught offside when someone either fumbled a handball or missed a target. And I'm talking basic errors. But I think you're going to make those. I mean, obviously the confidence has been down a bit, and I think we need to spend a bit to make a bit. And I think players were trying to do that, and I was really pleased that they were trying to take the game on. It cost us some goals, but I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with that. So I think those things can be rectified, and that 18 or 17 or 18 can come down to 13 or 14.
So when they got it back from 52 points to 12, you were still relaxed at that point?
I wasn't really worried about the margin. There was, in that period, they've kicked 5 or whatever they've kicked, that there's probably 2 or 3. There was some basic errors and a couple of structure things. No, I was okay. I thought if we can just stick to the way we need to play, and I thought, I was really pleased with the players. I think with their resilience, so they were able to hang tough, and I suppose that's what we've been able to do over the last 3 or 4 weeks as well. That, and I think good teams and good clubs are able to do that, and I'm certainly pleased with the players today to be able to do that.
And how much also the fact that you had so many goals kicked on you, how much of that is also a function of the fact that you've really got a patchwork defence at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. It's the old chicken and egg scenario that I think our made-up defence has done really well defensively. Like last week, the opposition kicked 10 goals. When we played other teams, our defence has been good, but we've had no run and set up from there either. So it's a bit. So we've asked our defence to take the game on a bit more, and knowing that we might actually leak some goals. You've got to, as I said, you've got to spend a bit to make a bit. If we weren't prepared to try and kick the goals and take the game on, well, wouldn't have. I don't think we would have won.
You feel your captain set the tone in the first quarter with that, that big crunch on Shane Edwards at the second centre bounce and just sort of flowed on.
Yeah, I think his attack on the ball. I don't think he obviously saw it as an opposition player. Just his attack on the ball, and he had a big cut on his eye, and as did Daniel Cross. And I thought their work. I thought the leaders were terrific today. I think they set the tone. Ben Hudson's been under pressure as well. I think he set the tone as well. I think his performance was really pleasing. So it was good to see some players who maybe have been down on a bit of form, not so much Cross and Boyd, but the others, Gilby and players like that, be able to lift.
So overall, I know every game's important, but how significant was today's game for your club, coming off 3 losses, playing an informed side, just to play the way you did, especially in the first? Yeah, it was extremely pleasing. Obviously, the pressure builds. I think the more you lose, there's no doubt about that. I suppose there's always expectations on us internally and externally, and we knew there was pressure was building. But having said that, we weren't really focused on that. It was about the way we needed to play, and as I think I've used the word resilience before, but I think we've hung tough as a group. As a club, we've been united with it. We've stuck through it. There hasn't been any finger pointing. We've worked out ways that we're trying to get out of this and improve our performance, because some of our performance has been okay. We've had, up until this weekend, the same number of quarters won as Collingwood. So we've played some reasonable footy, but we haven't been consistent with it, and we just needed to tidy up a few areas, which we've started to do today. Now, we've still got some work to do. No, we're not out of the woods yet as far as the way we want to play. No, we still need to improve.
So where's Collingwood's upper limit as a footballer?
He played very well today. I mean, we made some errors at times, and he was able to retrieve the situation with some real toughness, wasn't he? He was as good as I've seen our midfielders play. He was terrific. Oh, yeah, he's only young. He's going to keep improving. There's parts of his game that were really needed tending to, which he's done. He's worked hard and diligent. He's a really good kid. He does want to work hard off the field as far as on the track. I mean, one thing you're going to get with him is super courage, a bit like Cross and Boyd, aren't you? You know, you've got those three and you've got Picken as well. It certainly gives you a good foundation for the group.
Just on a word on the efforts from Gilby and Vincent, especially earlier, they set a really back over converting so well, so really good tone for it.
Yeah, they did. Obviously, Lindsay, that's probably as good as he's played as a forward. There's no doubt about that. And I was really pleased with Jared Grant and Liam Jones. Jones kicked a couple, but even towards the end of the third quarter and the last quarter, he took some good marks. And I think Jared's been down as well, and he probably typifies the group that he's been down on confidence and he struggled for a few weeks, but he really stuck at it. He's worked hard, and I don't know what he kicked today, 2-4, 2-5. He could have easily kicked 4 or 5 goals himself, which was really pleasant.
Did you see Lindsay playing steadily on as a forward?
Well, we had planned today to play Murph forward, and we're going to change them early enough, and it didn't work out that way because Lindsay was on fire. So we kept that going. So I think both those players, Murphy and Gilby, can both play back at the same time. They can both. Once we get Hall and Higgins back, I mean, that helps the forward line structure, doesn't it? That we can, got the option then of playing Lindsay in different spots.
When
will they come back?
They're a good chance next week. It looks like Higgins 95% will be right. You never obviously promise anything in this game. Hawley ran today, and he's go Rowan. Yeah, I know. He's a pretty good chance. So, without saying definite, I think both will play next week.
Attitude of taking the game on, which we're talking about today, does that extend to the coach as well when you're under siege and move Murphy forward rather than looking to shore up the defence in some way?
Yeah, they had a spare behind the play, which I don't think had an influence on them scoring goals. I think it was more some turnovers at times that hurt us. But yeah, you think about you can put numbers back the other way, and we thought, well, we need to put pressure on and our forward on them. That was our focus before the game. So I think if we could get the ball in, which we were doing, that maybe put more pressure on them by having a talented player there.
How do you think Adam Cooney's going? Today I think he had a lot of the ball, but
listen, he's working really hard. Obviously, he's playing under a little bit of duress, but it's not getting any worse, his knee. And I think full credit to him. He's the one that's putting his hand up to play. He really wants to play. And we're playing him more forward to obviously limit his run a bit. But he's had 27 a day. He fumbled and scratched and didn't kick the ball well. But I was, like the Fremantle game, he didn't kick it well either. But I've been pleased with his persistence and his work rate. And I've been pleased with him as a leader that he's actually willing to put himself out there for the sake of the team. Like some players, and with his talent and his history, could probably say, oh no, well, I'm not going to be able to play to that standard, that I don't want to play because I'm going to hurt my reputation. Well, I think full credit to him. He's not worried about that. He's worried about the team, and I think that exemplifies what a lot of players are like.
Is it the knee that's actually...
Yeah, it's a bit sore. It's a bit sore. But at some stage we might have, we're probably going to have to rest him at some stage. But there's not a lot that can be done to take it from where it is at 80, 90% to 100%. And there's a lot of players in the competition who are playing in the same situation, And there's a lot of good players who are playing under duress. That just happens. I think it's become noticeable because we're playing Adam in a different spot. But and I think he obviously, because you're Brownlow medalist, people, especially media, are going to monitor him a bit more closely. But certainly from our point of view, the last 3 or 4 weeks we've been really pleased with his effort.
Are you concerned about Hudson being available to you next week?
I was when it happened, and then I saw the slow-mo and I thought, well, he seemed to check himself that he's going to spoil. Then he checked himself because he was in flight. So hopefully that it is seen in that light, because obviously he's good today and we're playing the 2 biggest ruckman in the competition next week.